Your sisters, you work together, you run a business together. Had you ever worked together before you started your cupcake business, before you started Georgetown Cupcake?
No, we hadn't. You know, Sophie was a molecular biology major at Princeton. I was a poli-sci major at Marymount University in Arlington, Virginia. Grew up baking with our grandmother, had this passion for it, never thought it could be a viable business. We are a year and a half apart. We did not play well together growing up. You know, we basically fought, you know, over everything, toys, clothes, boys, you know, and then 10 minutes later, we'd be having lunch again or playing together again. And I think that is one thing that really helped us decide to start this business together, was that we were able to communicate to each other in a way that I don't think we could with any of our friends or previous employees.
And I think the fact that there was just the two of us and we're a year and a half apart, I think anyone who has a sister very close in age, you know about that special bond, and it's something like you're on the same wavelength. Sometimes we don't even have to say the words, we just know what each other is thinking. And we had this passion of baking with our grandmother, and she really was the inspiration for starting our business. And so we always knew we wanted to do something together one day. But you know, as you asked, we had never worked together before. In school, we played the same sport and did the same activities, but this was our first foray into working together. And it's been a roller coaster. We've been having a lot of fun. Working with your sister is a very complex thing. Some of you at family businesses know family businesses are challenging, but they're also very, very rewarding. So for us, it's been a blessing. We told people we wanted to do this. They're like, okay, well, I know my husband, and Katherine was not married to her husband at the time, but they thought, this is just some pipe dream. Let them, you know, play around. If you want to go see spaces, go ahead, see spaces. But then when we had the lease in hand, like we found the space, my husband started to freak out because it became real. You know, like I was quitting my job and Katherine was quitting, you know, her job, and we were going to do this. And I think once you sign that first lease, that first legally binding piece of paper, then it really becomes real. And I think anyone can relate to this, is that you're on the hook. You know, you got to start paying rent. You got to start, you know, making sales, and all of a sudden the clock starts ticking. And my husband was on a business trip, and he said, "Do not, whatever you do, don't do anything until I get back." And of course, we were going to lose the spot. Like there were so many people looking at this spot. And for those of you who have seen our first shop in Georgetown, this tiny little bakery. You know, it was a real hole in the wall when we found it. Like we put in a lot of work, and I remember my husband took a look and he's like, "This is not a good space. Like, do not do this. Do you know all the amount of work? This is a total disaster." But of course, we fell in love with it, and we signed on the dotted line, and the rest is history.